My name's Kimya, and about 208 days ago, I decided to start my YouTube journey. Hey guys, I know my hair is a mess. I'm a mess. I've slept for 2 hours and literally I cried 5 times. I bawled my eyes out. Look at me, I'm 23. I'm a mess. I'm confused as hell about what I want to do with my life. The only thing I want to do is this, and I still get fear that I'm not good enough. I'm gonna listen to the universe. I have this sudden urge and it's just like I can't get rid of it. I think ever since I started editing my first video, I just almost like can't waste my energy on anything else. I tried to say maybe at the end of summer, but I just can't wait. Like, I don't think there's any time to waste. I just wanted to come on here because I just want to say to like follow your gut, follow what the universe is trying to tell you, and stop trying to reject it, because like when you reject it, that's when you feel like the worst. So I'm just gonna rip off the band-aid now. There's a lot to come, so stay tuned. Hey guys, today we're thrifting fall 2022 trends. Probably seen Dorsa, my best friend. It's a little like wrap bracelet. I can't dance. I can't dance. 5 days ago, me and my boyfriend decided to move to New York for 1 month. Since I've been in New York, all I've heard is go to Brooklyn to go thrifting. We went from 0 subscribers all the way to 26,000 subscribers and counting. Depending on when you're watching this video, that number might be different, hopefully is. But I have learned so much throughout that journey. I know I'm just in the beginning of this roller coaster of a career, but there are a lot of things that I've learned that I wish I knew when I started. So sit back, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into it. And remember, if you at first don't succeed, you gotta try again and again and again and again, because that's what content creation is all about. So if you're ready to learn all about that, buckle up. So I have my notebook here. I have a bunch of stuff. There is so much information. So I thought I'd split this up into 3 chapters. Chapter 1 being just general advice that you need to know if you're starting content creation. Chapter 2 being all the technical tips like analytics and all that stuff like titles, thumbnails. And then chapter 3 being equipment and editing software. There's a huge learning curve with all that stuff. So let me save you some trouble and give you guys all the information. First thing I want to talk about is kind of corny. Not really, actually. It's actually really important, and it's mindset. I just want you to know that anyone can do this career. No matter your background, no matter where you live, where you're from, anyone can do it. Because at the end of the day, there are people like you all around the world that will relate to you. There is definitely at least one person in this world that seems to connect with who you are. So all you need to do is believe in yourself enough to start and stay committed to it. Because trust me, there's a person sitting in their bedroom wishing someone like you would make a video so they could finally relate to someone on the internet. So if you're thinking of making that video, just do it. Number 2, typical advice, and you've probably heard it over and over again, but it is the most legit, true advice that you could get in this industry, and that is being consistent. I know you don't want to hear it because it's literally like, okay, yeah, I get it, be consistent, and then what? Like, what do I do? Trust me when I say consistency is key for a couple of reasons. One, you can learn from other people, but the best person you're gonna learn from is yourself. So if you don't keep posting videos, you're never gonna learn from your own mistakes. You can watch so many different people, look at their styles, try to copy them, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have your own vibe to it. So the only person you're truly gonna learn from is yourself. And I actually got this advice from someone else, someone who made a video on YouTube actually about this, and said, I don't give advice to people until they've posted at least 50 videos, because there's nothing we can compare to. We can't find the growth. We can't see what worked, what didn't work. Another reason it's important to be consistent is because YouTube needs to trust you, and so does your audience. If YouTube doesn't take you seriously and doesn't trust that you are going to post on your consistent schedule, they are less likely to bump up your videos. And apparently that has been proven through analytics. I saw this again from another person's YouTube video, and they said that their views started spiking up the second they were very, very consistent on the day and time they were posting. Not only does YouTube need to trust you, but your audience needs to be like, okay, yeah, this person's coming back and consistently providing me with the content I love to see from them. I'm not going to one day get committed to them and get attached to them, and then they're going to just like drop off the face of the earth and stop posting. This is another general tip that has to do with mindset, and it's really important because mentally this game can be a little bit hard because you're constantly seeing where everybody else is at. Say you're an accountant, you're not seeing all the other accountants in the world posting about their successes 24/7 online, but when you follow a bunch of other content creators, you're constantly like, it's in your face how well they're doing. What you need to understand is obviously try not to compare yourself to others. I know it can be hard. How I do this is reducing the amount I watch watch videos. I know we're always looking for inspo, but try to take inspo from yourself. When you start going down the rabbit hole of watching a bunch of TikToks, a bunch of YouTube videos, seeing where everybody else is at and comparing yourself, you're gonna subconsciously try to copy that. And the best content is when it's original and comes straight from you. So I guess one of my tips would kind of be to watch less content. In the beginning stages, I know you want to watch content so you get some inspiration, and maybe you just love watching YouTube videos, but just keep in mind that if you are, just try not to compare. Second of all, with this tip, you need to understand that some people are anomalies. They make one video, they blow up, and there you go, they're famous. But majority of people have been working behind the scenes for a long time. A lot of these big YouTubers you see, they have been doing it for a while, and they've been practicing and putting in their 10,000 hours. For all you know, they could have been doing it for 7-10 years. So don't be too hard on yourself. Practice makes perfect, and you need to always be learning. And what I mean by that is putting your 10,000 hours in and actually practicing. You can't expect to be amazing at something when you've never tried it and you haven't practiced and you haven't put the hours in. You need to be real with yourself and tell yourself it's okay to be a beginner. It's okay to just be starting. It's okay if my video is not absolutely perfect. That's still not going to stop me from posting it. You need to tell yourself those things so you actually post, because until you start posting, you cannot improve. So take that expectation out of your head and just start with an open, fresh mind. Be open to learning. I think this is going to be the last general tip I have for you guys, but be yourself, because you kind of need to be living the life you're portraying if you want it to be sustainable. If you're pretending to be someone you're not, eventually you're going to get burnt out. But if you're just yourself and you actually treat YouTube or whatever platform you're using as like a way to communicate your feelings and talk to your subscriber family, you actually use it as a way to decompress rather than putting on a show, it's gonna be much more sustainable and you're gonna be much more happy doing it. Okay, I feel like we were deep for a little too long there, and I was getting very serious because I'm super passionate about this topic. So if I'm getting like in your face about it, it's because I have the passion to help you guys, and I love seeing people live out their dreams. And also, just a quick note, if you have any questions at all, comment below and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. All right, let's get into the technicals. What I mean by this is analytics, keywords, programs you need to use to find those keywords in analytics, thumbnails, titles, how to pick all that stuff, and how important is it really. Obviously, you have your video. I think be as creatively free with your video as you please, but I'm gonna talk more about the externals of your video. For example, your thumbnail and how to get people to actually click on your video and find it. So you make this amazing video. You're obsessed with it. You think it's so creative. It's perfectly you, but you're wondering, how do I get people to watch my video? Think of it this way. If they don't like the cover of the book, they may never read the book. Same goes for videos. If they don't like your thumbnail, they may never watch your beautiful video. So that's why it's so important to actually put in the time to create that thumbnail that actually hits. I know I said don't take too much inspo from people, but in the beginning specifically, it's good to see what has worked. Personally, what worked for me is looking at what other people do for thumbnails and just putting my own personal twist on it, because at the end of the day, some of these big YouTubers have a lot of analytics and have looked into what works for thumbnails a lot. So you can take some of the overarching tips, and I'm sure many people have made videos about what makes a thumbnail pop. Like, I know there's like something that's psychologically proven that if your mouth is open in a thumbnail, it's gonna do better. But take a look at what's working on your explore page. Look at what catches your eye. Kind of maybe model your thumbnail based on that. And one great thing about YouTube is that you can always change your thumbnail. So say you published your video a couple days ago and it's really not doing well, and you think maybe my thumbnail is not as good as it should be, you can go change that anytime. And I've had videos that have done terrible and I've changed the thumbnail and they have become some of my most viewed videos. Okay, titles. They're important too. I use TubeBuddy to find my keywords for my titles. I use it more for my videos that are searchable, because that's how your videos are gonna pop up in search. TubeBuddy is gonna let you know how many people are searching for a certain type of video and how much competition there are. And you can also see how many other big creators are making those videos, so you can really see what titles worked best for which people depending on their size of account and other factors like that. So TubeBuddy is super useful. For example, if there's a lot of competition for a title and there's a lot of big creators creating for it and there's not that many people searching it, then your video is likely not going to do the best. I've had videos that have done really bad on the explore page at first, but because I picked a really good title with the proper keywords that I researched, they now are some of my most viewed videos after a couple months. That also leads me into another tip. I feel like all the tips are just like flowing in my head and I'm gonna miss some. Another tip is that if your video does bad, do not delete it, because there's a chance that it could be doing bad right now, but if it's a searchable video, for example, my Dyson Airwrap tutorial, like worst video of the year, like hardly any views compared to my other videos. 6 months later, it's one of my most viewed videos now. So if your video is doing bad, don't delete it, because it's not like TikTok. It's not instant gratification. It takes time sometimes. And that leads me into another technical tip, which is do searchable videos a lot at the beginning, because yes, everybody loves a vlog. Everybody loves to make a vlog. They're so fun. That's kind of what I've been doing lately. But before people know about you, there's a lesser chance that they're gonna care about your daily vlog rather than if you bring something of value to them. So if I had a game plan for my videos, and I'm actually gonna start implementing this more this year, do searchable videos to start. Depending on your posting schedule, if you're doing twice a week, maybe one day a week could be a vlog and one day a week could be a searchable video, because those videos, again, if they're doing bad, because they're searchable, they will eventually rise to the top and do better. You can show your personality through those videos too. I actually really recommend you show your personality in those videos, so then people love the tips, but they love you even more, and then they will watch your daily vlog. You can do makeup tutorials, hair tutorials, you can talk about life advice, any problem that people have that you have the solution for, go ahead and talk about it. Or anything that people need help with that maybe you relate to, you had an experience with, talk about that. You have a certain type of pet, you have a dog, you have a cat, make videos about that. And there's just endless searchable videos you can do, and I really recommend, if you want to grow fast, do that. Descriptions, I didn't talk about descriptions. I feel like they're a little bit slept on. The same way you put keywords in your title, you need to put them in your description too. Obviously, don't just go put a bunch of words there. Actually, like, describe what your video is about and be like, so in today's video, we're doing a makeup tutorial. We're doing an everyday makeup tutorial that's super glowy and da-da-da-da-da. So then when someone searches something or someone needs a recommendation to do with makeup, that pops up and YouTube knows to recommend that. It's kind of like telling YouTube what your video is about so they can send it to the right people. Okay, music. I use Epidemic Sound and I do use Thematic. I think I might have canceled my Thematic membership just because I wasn't using it as much as Epidemic Sound, but both are great. Also, okay, this is one question I really had at first, because sometimes you just want to use your favorite song in a video. You don't care if it's getting monetized or not. And I was actually really wondering, like, am I gonna get my YouTube channel banned if I use like a popular song? And the answer is, you won't get banned. Nothing will really happen. The only thing that will happen is that either your video is not gonna get monetized, which in the beginning, honestly, like, you don't need it monetized because like you're not even at that point yet. So if you think that it's gonna make your video so much more vibrant to use like a cool song, you might as well just use it. Second risk with it is that if the person who owns the song doesn't want it to show in certain countries, they might ban your video until you change that song in your video. So that can be really frustrating sometimes. So all I'm saying is that if you want to use popular songs, you're not going to get monetized. There is a slight chance that your video might be blocked, but most likely it probably wouldn't. But you're not going to get your YouTube channel like taken down or something. Okay, chapter 3, equipment and software. So this is going to be all about editing, what camera to use, all that stuff. So when it comes to equipment, you're probably wondering, do I need a professional camera? Like, do I need to spend a lot of money? Can I film on my iPhone? And the answer is, it doesn't really matter. You can get away with using your phone for sure, and a lot of my videos are filmed on my phone, especially if I'm out and about or thrifting. You can even use a vintage camcorder and make that your style. Literally, the world is your oyster when it comes to cameras. You don't have to spend a lot of money. It depends what kind of videos you're posting and what kind of quality you need. Say if you're doing very like detailed reviews of stuff, I would probably recommend getting a better camera so you can see like detailed views of the product, and it seems like a very professional type of videography that you need to do for that. Whereas if you're doing like daily vlogs or more artsy style fashion stuff, I think you can get away with using a vintage camcorder or even your iPhone, really even like a Canon G7X, which is like the base model beginner vlog camera. I think all that is perfectly fine to use, and I think be creative with it. Not everybody needs to be doing it the same way, so use what you have for the most part. And honestly, the new iPhones have such good cameras. Honestly, sometimes I thought this was better than my first camera. If you feel like upgrading in the future, do it. Personally, I'll tell you guys what camera I use. It's a bit of a more pricey, bigger setup. I used to have the Sony a6200, and honestly, I don't recommend it too much. There's no stabilization on the camera, so it's very shaky. So if I was a beginner, I honestly wouldn't choose the camera I had. I would probably just go with the Canon Canon G7X like everybody else, or the Sony ZV-1, which is a newer vlogging camera from Sony. I think maybe I'd actually go with that one because they also have like a wide angle adapter lens that you can put on it if you want to upgrade, if you want a more high quality setup. I really love my new setup that I just got for Christmas. I've been using it nonstop. It makes me feel so much better about vlogging and making videos. And by all means, this is not necessary. This is a luxury to have. So I have the Sony A7C. It's actually made for vlogging and videography. It's a smaller body full frame camera. And then what's beautiful about it is actually the lenses. So I have the FE4 16mm to 35mm G lens. I personally love it. It's a zoom lens, so you can zoom it in and out. You can make it super wide angle to get your whole room. I can even show you guys. So I can get my whole room like this, or I can bring it in and zoom it all the way in and get a super close-up shot. I also have this Sony mic on it. The names of the Sony products are so hard to remember, so I'm not even gonna bother. But I really like this mic, and I feel like audio is so important in videos. So even if you're using your iPhone, I would suggest getting like a smaller mic because audio makes a huge difference. But on the daily, I just use this Manfrotto tripod. A lot of creators use this. It's just small, compact, cheap. It's perfect. And you can adjust the angle. There's just it's very simple, but it works. And I've had this since the beginning of my journey and I haven't switched. Going into editing software, how I make my thumbnails, and all that good stuff. Okay, there's a couple things to note. Kind of gets complicated here because it is a learning curve. If you want me to do a video more in detail on how I actually export my footage and get it into the editing platform and all that stuff, let me know because, there was a lot to learn there and I need to go in detail for that because it's just a whole nother story. And trust me, there's been a lot of crying, a lot of lost footage, a lot of frustration, a lot of hours talking on the phone with Apple. So if you want to bypass all of that, I can definitely make a video about it. Basically, the editing platform I use and I swear by is Final Cut Pro. I explain it in this way. It's kind of like an upgraded version of iMovie, but it's just so much easier to use because you don't have to do a bunch of workarounds and stuff. So I really recommend Final Cut Pro. You can get a 3-month trial, which is kind of crazy. Definitely take advantage of that, and I promise you, they give you that trial for that long because they know you're gonna buy it after, and it's a one-time payment. It's not monthly or anything, so I would say just splurge on that if you're gonna be doing this for the long term. I think it's the easiest editing platform to use, in my opinion. You also need a hard drive, and I'm telling you this because you're gonna run into so many problems if you don't get one, because before you do this job, you guys don't get how big files are, even on the iPhone, especially on the iPhone. iPhone videos take so much space, so you need a hard drive or your computer is gonna crash. You can start with a 1TB one and get an SSD. I don't recommend any hard drive besides this one because I've had so many problems. These things are expensive and I've bought so many and I literally can't even use them. I can hardly even access them because they're so glitchy, so wonky. But these ones, I don't know the exact name, but I'm putting it on the screen right here. These ones are the only ones that have never failed me, that just work so well and are so trustworthy. And plus they download stuff faster, so it's a win-win. Basically, I recommend either getting a 1TB SSD or a 2TB SSD. Personally, I recommend the 2TB because you'll just fill that up way later, and trust me, they get filled up fast. You'll be surprised how fast your 1TB will go, especially if you want to keep your videos. Coming from someone who's made content for the past year now, I've had to delete every single one of my videos, every single one of my raw files because there's no space. But lately, I've upgraded to a 2TB hard drive and I haven't had to do that. So if you can afford it, get the 2TB SSD hard drive, and I promise you, I will save you so much trouble. I already talked about thumbnails, but I'm gonna tell you guys how I edit my thumbnails. I personally make my thumbnails on my iPad on Procreate. I find that the easiest method. I use Procreate to make the image, and then I use Phonto to put the text over it. And trust me, using these two apps are so easy and it's the best way I found. But if you want an all-in-one and you don't have an iPad, which is totally understandable because it's not that necessary, I would recommend using PicMonkey. You do have to pay for it, but it makes your life a lot easier and it's a great one to have if you don't have an iPad or Procreate to use. You can also use Photoshop and stuff like that, or Illustrator, but you definitely need to learn a couple skills to use that. I feel like I just talked so much, but it's because I feel like I have information spewing out of me about this, so I could keep going on, and if you guys have questions or anything that I didn't cover, I'll be happy to answer it. I'm obviously learning a lot along the way too, so I'll probably come make this video again next year and have a whole new set of tips for you guys. So if you guys like this, don't forget to subscribe. If you forgot my name is Kimya, and I make videos about fashion, vlogs, just like everything in my life. So if you care about that, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you guys want to see more videos about how to be a YouTuber or how to be a content creator, how to do good on TikTok, any of that stuff, definitely ask your questions below and I'll be more than happy to answer, and I'll be more than happy to make another video because I love talking about this stuff. It's so fun and I feel like I'm very passionate about it and I love helping you guys. Anyways, love you guys so much. Kisses. I hope this video helped you guys and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.